However you feel about him, our 45th president stirs up a great deal of emotion. From his unconventional campaign to his surprise win in November, people are watching Donald Trump's every move, and so are we. Only we're doing it through your eyes. Our centerpiece this week is a unique perspective, a two-parter, as we introduce you to a cross-section of local residents who agreed to share their viewpoints on President Trump's first year.
Biggest hope would have to be that he comes through with a lot of things he's promising. There's a few things in particular, but one I'd like to see for sure is a little more money for veterans, disabled veterans especially.
Then, pass or fail, we check back in with him to grade the president's first 100 days.
The first 100 days, I guess overall, I give him a rating of about a B or a C.
And from grades to exams, we're taking things personally. This week's Positively Healthy Report looks at what goes into a wellness exam. We'll have those stories along with scoops from our newsroom. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. 100 days and counting. That's the jumping off point for this week's show. The Naples Daily News and the Fort Myers News Press embarked on a journey together to profile President Donald Trump's first year in office by tracking the perspectives of a cross-section of voters.
I'm a part-time teacher at First Baptist Academy. I am married, have been for 29 years, to my husband Todd. We have 3 children. I voted for Trump.
My name is Bob Dorda. I'm from Naples, Florida. I grew up here. I've been here since 1976. I'm currently a small business owner. I own a taxidermy business. I'm married, have 3 daughters.
My name is Andrea Gamboa. I'm 19 years old. I'm currently protected under DACA, which is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It was something Barack Obama passed in 2012. Which kind of gives me a work permit, gives me protection. I
was in the Marine Corps for 5 years, medically retired. 3 deployments overseas, twice to Iraq, once to Afghanistan. Been blown up 9 times by roadside bombs. I am medically discharged, honorably. I have a service dog now. I take care of my dad full-time. He lives with me. And go to school part-time.
They're married and single, black, white, and Hispanic, a widowed mother of 2 teen girls, and a caretaker son of an ailing father. They come at it from different angles. 2 are Iraq War veterans. There are also 2 nurses and an undocumented immigrant student, a teacher, a taxidermist, a wealthy retiree, and a security guard. They reflect the diverse nature of our community, and we committed to spend the year checking in with them. Part 1 is before, as in before Trump took office. We asked the same questions: biggest hope, biggest fear, and what the president should tackle first.
My biggest fear about the Trump presidency would be Donald Trump seems to be a flamboyant businessman, and I think I'm concerned a little bit, and I think other people are too, that whether he's got a firm grip on how he wants to run this country, nobody really knows, but we hope he takes us in the right direction, and we hope and pray that he does, and not fly off the handle and start making wars with enemies. We've had too many wars.
Biggest hope would have to be that he comes through with a lot of things he's promising. There's a few things in particular, but one I'd like to see for sure is a little more money for veterans, disabled veterans especially.
He will have to take ownership of his words and his actions. To me, he has not taken ownership of anything that he said derogatory towards women, people of African American culture, of Latino culture.
My biggest hope for the Trump presidency would be that he and his administration could bridge the gap on so much polarization in the nation. It's bigger than any one man, but I believe he has already prepared to put people in place to help us not be so divisive in America. Everyone is so against everyone else.
My main hope for the Donald Trump presidency is that he does indeed follow through with the things that he promised his supporters. Develop a national security. That's me as an individual, me as a citizen, my primary concern.
My main hope for the first year in a Donald Trump presidency would be for him to surprise us. I know a lot of people are looking for him to fail right now, and although I'm not very happy with the results, I don't want him to fail, because if he fails, it affects us. So I hope he surprises us and actually works hard to make himself known as a good president.
He's a very good businessman. He will bring more jobs back to the United States, where they've been outsourced for many years. I think that's one of his main goals, is to keep the jobs in America and not bringing them overseas or some other foreign countries.
I hope he doesn't stack the cards the wrong way, where everybody's looking for a fight because of him, which, given his track record, I can foresee where that's got a possibility of happening.
Some of the mockery that's going on his part, kind of making fun of this person, that person, either whether it be gender, age, I really hope that doesn't continue as our Commander-in-Chief. I expect, as well as everyone else expects, the person that's in charge of the United States, the face that we have, has a little more tact.
It has taken decades to actually bring forth Obamacare. It's going to take time to produce something quote unquote better.
The people are being priced out of the health market right now, the insurance market. I think he'd be able to do it. He's got some smart people around him, and with a little luck, and I think he could accomplish that.
My main fear for the first year in the Trump presidency would be for him to actually do what he says he'll do. Examples are repealing DACA, repealing Obamacare. I rely on Obamacare, I rely on DACA. So if he takes that away, I don't know what my future could be. I don't know if I could continue college.
This past week, the experiment moved on, the milestone being the first 100 days in office. Reporters Eric Statz and David Dorsey went back to the well, asking our group to grade the president so far.
With Mr. Trump's first 100 days in office, I've given him an overall rating of a B. It was a B because of he's unable to repeal the Obamacare healthcare program.
And on his first 100 days, I would give him an A to an A-. And I say that because I like that he is moving forward. I like that he is getting things done. And I like that he is not beholden to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party or any special interest group. I love his Supreme Court pick of Neil Gorsuch, because I believe that Gorsuch will not try to legislate from the bench.
The first 100 days, I guess overall, I give him a rating of about a B or a C in my book for the first 100 days overall, but it's a lot better than an F or a D in my opinion, and hopefully it just goes up from here.
I gave Donald Trump a D+ for his first 100 days of presidency. Among other things that happened during his first 100 days, the thing that mostly impacted me was the mass deportation. He claimed to have wanted to target the criminals, criminals with criminal background, a violent criminal background, but instead he just started targeting anyone that he could.
My overall impression of President Trump in these first 100 days has been somewhat disappointing. The initial effort to repeal and replace Obamacare, I thought, proved to be a very poor display of the entire Republican Party. I'm also a little concerned of some of the trade policies that the president is in favor of. More specifically, I have tremendous concerns over tariffs and other protectionist ideas. I did like the idea of the strike on Syria,
I think he's doing a good job. I think there's a lot of things going on at the same time, but I think he's focusing on, he got that pipeline keystone, he got that pushed on through. That took 8 years before him and it didn't go anywhere, and now it's through.
The pros on that is that really he is a very, very good salesman. And I really admire what he's able to pull off on the general populace. But as far as negatives go, you know, the negatives outweigh the positives, because what he's doing is he's changing programs without a solid replacement. That's what my main beef is with the whole Trump presidency.
Coming up, we'll take you back to the Rock, as in Fort Rock. Last week in Lee County, all the cool kids were rocking out. Stay with us.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days, because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida. And now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now 2 locations to serve you.
If you look at healthcare by the numbers, a lot of research has gone into the value of prevention, saving lives and money. It's the impetus behind the annual wellness exams. Here's this week's Positively Healthy. Most of us grew up thinking our yearly trip to the doctor meant a head-to-toe physical, inspecting our body to uncover any abnormalities. Nowadays, when Medicare recipients get a wellness exam, they're likely to face a whole new routine.
It's not what you would think of typically as your, full body physical exam, but that's kind of because they want the emphasis to be more on the screening aspect of it.
Think of it in terms of a personal prevention plan. Doctors evaluate you and your history to focus on your individual needs.
Any personalized recommendations based on your health history. So if you have hypertension and diabetes, what sort of screening things would be necessary, or what would be a regular interval for labs.
It begins with a one-time welcome visit, which provides a baseline for care. After that, patients undergo a check-in every 12 months. Expect a review of vaccinations, medications, and any surgery since the last visit. But there's more that sets a wellness visit apart.
It's important to screen for depression every year, screen for alcohol use, and especially as we get older, screening for dementia, screening for fall risk.
Doctors find the information they glean is often overlooked elsewhere.
During those visits, I've caught people who have had high scores, and we found depression, and that's important because that's one of the most neglected issues in the geriatric population.
Your doctor will also make sure you're current on screenings, including ones for cancer. Since everything is based on you, the visit also looks at your risk factors and how you can improve them.
So, think of things like blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and a lot of these are affected just by very basic things you can change.
So now you know, with an emphasis on well-being, this is your grandma's annual checkup. Speaking of perspectives, that's right in the wheelhouse of our columnist Brent Batten. Here's our weekly commentary. Brent?
Thanks, Amy. It seems like everyone is coming up with letter grades these days. Every sports commentator at ESPN had to have a letter grade for teams in the NFL draft. Considering that almost none of these so-called experts got more than a few picks right, I'm giving them all an F. No wonder about half of them got canned. Grades used to be reserved for elementary school. If you did well, you got an A or a B. If you were a so-so student, you'd get a C. If you did poorly, a D or an F. A plus or a minus would add emphasis. Woe unto the student who saw an F minus in big red letters on a paper. Schools try to ditch the letter grades in favor of a 1 to 3 grading scale, with 3 meaning exceeds expectations, 2 meaning meets expectations, and 1 meaning falls short of expectations. That seems kind of counterproductive. Keep your expectations low, and you're a straight 3 student. So the schools are transitioning back to the letters, with numbers added as an aside. Last week, my son brought home a form asking me to give the schools a letter grade. I put down a 2. Let them figure that out. The most ridiculous letter grades we give are for the president's first 100 days in office, which occurred last week. Graders are judging the president based on their individual bias in politics. One person gave Donald Trump an F on starting work on the wall because he hasn't started building it. Another person gave him an F on starting work on the wall because he says he wants to build it. 2 Fs from 2 different people for 2 entirely different reasons. That tells me more about the people giving out the grades than it does about what kind of job the president is doing. When you couple the notion of letter grades for the president with the artificial milestone of 100 days, you get a big bowl of nothing. If we're not talking about school, beef, or eggs, spare me the letter grade. To truly judge a president's first 100 days in office, we need a grading system with substance, one that goes beyond the superficial to the heart of the issues. That's why for his first 100 days in office, I give Donald Trump 2.5 stars. I'm Brent Batten. Be sure to read my column on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the Naples Daily News. And as always, thanks for watching.
We're not leaving the newsroom just yet. It's time to check in with our reporters on the beat.
Thanks, Amy. So this week we're going to be digging into one of Collier County's long-planned major road projects. It's going to be a big push to expand Vanderbilt Beach Drive to 6 lanes out from North Naples into Golden Gate Estates. This is going to be a huge project. It's been delayed since the recession, more than 10 years, and they're finally pushing forward with it again. It's going to cost more than $60 million. The county's probably going to have to borrow money to pay for it, and we're going to check in on all the details. Find out more at naplesnews.com.
I'm Shelby Reynolds. I'm a features reporter at the Naples Daily News, and last week I told you about a story I'm working on about goat yoga, and I actually got to go and experience it last weekend. So you can find that story on naplesnews.com, and I talk about all the barnyard animals and how they wander among the yogis.
When we come back, a Star Wars lover's dream, quite literally. Could you imagine a hotel that caters to the Force? That's ahead on Behind the Headlines.
The Bears Different sale is here. Save half off the Tommy Bahama Beach House collection. You can't buy Tommy Bahama designs for less anywhere else in America. Shop Florida's largest selection of 100% all genuine leather. Save big on leather sofas starting from just $7.97. Plus, the lowest prices guaranteed on hundreds of designer brands. In stock, ready for immediate delivery. Hurry in. Experience the Bears Difference now.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full-service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA Triple Check Insurance Review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
We've all admired a well-appointed room with an interesting mix of colors, textures, and fabrics. Hate to be a spoiler, but there are a few shortcuts you can take to achieve a well-coordinated look. Bears design expert Kathy Smith shares the secrets. Face it, we all need help sometimes, and that's why it's so great that we have design professionals that can help us pull together our look, and that's why we're here with Kathy Smith, Bears Furniture. What do you need to know in order to work with a designer?
Well, the first thing that we ask people to do is to come to us with some information, you know, because preliminary information, room sizes, what they want to accomplish with their space, what they have in mind. Second thing probably is to bring pictures, as many pictures as they possibly can, because the designer can get a feel for what they like. A lot of times they can't verbalize what they like. You know, they know what they like, but they can't put it in words. So if they bring in pictures to a designer can see, oh, okay, I can see where you're going with this, and then she can make it happen, or he can make it happen for them. So bring as much information to the first meeting as possible.
So that really gives you a lot of info about what kind of styles they like, even if they can't articulate what inspirations.
Exactly. You want to cut their time down as much as possible so that the designer makes sure that they give them the absolute best that they can possibly get for what they want.
And even coming in and visiting the store gives you a lot of information too. This is the kind of design wall.
This is a Tommy Bahama outdoor living for your lanai. And what this does is it shows pictures of areas, whether it be this one is a fire pit and a couple of chairs, but it also has the coordinating fabrics put together already, so that you know you can flip through and you can see, depending on the color, because the color scheme is important too. You can go to the oranges, or you can go to the red and blacks. Some people like a more dramatic look, so this would be perfect for them. And as you can see, you have some neutrals, some greens. So what the designer would work with the customer on this and say, which color palette do you like? This is what I would suggest for a base color for the body. And then pillows and chairs and all of that is right here, all put together for you. That's all Sunbrella fabric.
Very nice, though. So it's already kind of organized for you. And I think a lot of people too want to see and feel it, and not really just look at it in a catalog.
Definitely. So there's so many options for outdoor today. It's a whole new world for outdoor.
It's all about finding a good team. If you find someone that works well with you, stick with it. Young and old united in one thing at least. Thousands turned out and rocked the fort last weekend at JetBlue Park. Organizers say the Fort Rock Music Festival smashed attendance records and maybe a few guitars. A total of 26 bands played over the course of 2 days, from big names like Def Leppard and Soundgarden to groups like Alter Bridge, which is touring the festival circuit to pick up new fans and generate sales for their newest album. It added up to a pile of fun. Roughly 24,000 people attended, well over the previous record of 14,000, easily making it the biggest rock party in Southwest Florida. This story is for the Star Wars lovers among us, a dream come true potentially. Word is Disney is surfacing the idea of a Star Wars themed hotel. Imagine a slumber party for Star Wars superfans. Here's what we know.
Disney is not being shy about a potential new Star Wars-themed hotel. For the past couple of weeks, a third-party group has been surveying guests to see their level of interest and to show off some potential designs. A stay at this hotel would be an all-inclusive 2-night immersive resort experience at Walt Disney World, bringing you the opportunity to experience a 2-day story set in the Star Wars universe. Be surrounded in a continuous story-driven entertainment experience as it unfolds over the course of the 2-night stay. Have personal interactions with Star Wars characters, live performers throughout the starship, experience the story, or simply observe the action according to personal preference. Engage in the story with such programs as flight training, ship exploration, lightsaber training, and personalized secret missions, both on the starship and throughout the Star Wars-themed planet.
And finally, we made that turn to Star Wars to mark another important date. This past Thursday was May the 4th. Star Wars fans prefer to see it as May the Force, as in be with you. So if you saw Star Wars pictures and memes pop up on your social media feed, that's why. And that's all for this edition of Behind the Headlines. You can always catch up on past shows by logging on to naplesnews.com. On the left-hand side under Quick Links, select Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.